Good morning, Azeroth. It is the 5th of February, 2025. Grab your morning beverage and welcome to the stream. With the free elite PvP sets we wanted this season finally all gathered, we can take a breath and relax a little bit before the upcoming patch sometime later this month. We'll be jumping on with our weeklies today, the Siren Isle and profession stuff across our different characters. So without any further ado, let's get stuck in. Hope you're all doing well today. The morning greets you kindly. Take it steady. Keep yourselves hydrated. You've got this. Right, let's get ourselves up and over. Still not 100% when the next patch is coming out. Well, again, promotional material continues to go through. Lots of little shorts they're doing on YouTube. Actually pretty informative. There was one I saw this morning on the different cartels.
Hey, what's the
I think the
news?
social media team over there is doing pretty well. But again, still no release date yet. I'm just hoping it does actually drop this month. Just chomping at the bit for new stuff.
My troops can defend this camp against Naga.
Oh, Snapdragon's changed to a quest. Snapdragon seems to recognize you as you approach, its ear things wiggling with anticipation. Not only has it grown bigger overnight, but its scales have changed colour from the meat you fed it yesterday. Between its talons lies the remains of a sea creature from the last Sea Fury Tempest. Snapdragon looks at you expectantly. By venturing into the Sea Fury Tempest and slaying creatures there, you can bring it more meat. Okay, now it needs storm-infused meat. Need a creature, but sure. Grab up our other weeklies.
We got a tunnel to blast open.
Being able to fly around here helps.
Always be prepared. When the stars shift,
It's Naga time this time around.
feel the warmth of the sacred flame.
And that page's quest will be much easier to do now we can fly. What else have we got about? One down there. Get ourselves over. We also saw yesterday the release of some new Monster Hunter news. For those curious from Capcom, they had a little showcase. As well as reminding folks that there are 2 beta weekends coming up to play, of which I did the first beta weekend on stream, and these ones aren't adding too much different. There are a couple of new monsters to fight, but I think I will nip in a little bit in my off hours on the weekend rather than trying to stream the same stuff again. But having said that, they also showed off a few more new monsters. I won't divulge the names here. I know for the Monster Hunter community, there is always a desire to not be spoiled on the monsters. Part of it is going in and finding out who's there, what's there, and some folks trying to avoid every single spoiler possible. But suffice it to say, there's some new stuff, there's some old stuff, and all I can say is, judging at the different monster types, the skeletons of said monsters, as we've said before, is how they kind of build off those skeletons to bring monsters into the game. And I could be wrong, but it feels like there's nearly every, apart from the really big Elder Dragon stuff, which we're not going to know for the most part, there's a couple of unique skeletons in there, but they also follow that same logic. But it feels like, especially compared to World, they have just about at least one of each, as far as my memory can tell, which is very exciting because it means for Wilds they can now pull in pretty much any monster they'd like. And standard for Monster Hunter is they give it a year's support with limited quests and events and crossovers, new monsters to fight, new things to earn as you go. And then they move on to their G rank expansion, or more commonly known these days as Master Rank. And in that vein, they showed off some of the cosmetic stuff, which many of you will be unsurprised by here, I adore. So their transmog system, layered armor. Now pretty much whenever you fight something in high rank, which for those games you start out the game in low rank, then go on to high rank, when you acquire an armor set in said high rank, you then just unlock it to use as the layered armor. From what they said, which is exciting. A little more fiddly in World and Iceborne to be grabbing different sets. Not unpleasant, just a little fiddly. And they also showed off you can customize your little pop-up tent as you're out and about. Again, they're trying to encourage you to stick about in the various biomes rather than the constant back and forth you kind of had to do, especially as you were progressing through the main storyline, which was always a point of contention, especially for a load of folks who came into World and therefore the franchise for the first time. Especially when you were playing with friends, you had to start up a mission, watch a cutscene individually, and then one of you had to leave and join a friend. It wasn't exactly ideal. But it sounds like we might have gotten past that. So that would be the hope. And with said tent customization, you couldn't just like change the colours of it, put some patterns on it, slap some stickers around. You could also set up some deck chairs on the outside or different bits and bobs that you collect as you go. And then our little bird raptor mount thing, I'm going to butcher the name. The Secret? It's something like that. You can customize them as well as you get through the game. They did say you'd have to unlock that capability, so it doesn't sound like it's something you start with. But yeah, you can change its colours, its feathering, if it's got armour on it, that kind of thing. Lots of little bits. Having more customization options is always good to hear. And then the game releases 28th of February, which is on a Friday. I'm unsure as the actual specific times. For example, I don't know if it's going to be in the UK like Friday evening, very late on, afternoon, start of that day. Unsure whether I start streaming it on the Friday or push it to the Monday thereafter. We will have to see how that plays out. If I wasn't streaming, I would love nothing more than to spend that entire weekend just monster hunting, but such as it is. That's a choice that I've made, and that's fine. Could also just stream it over that weekend, but we'll see. It's been very important for my health just to take the time on the weekends at the moment where life currently is situated. But I'm hoping before we get to the point of Monster Hunter's release, once I'm through Eternal Strands, that I can spend maybe a few days, if not a week, actually setting up Twitch, just so I can be streaming here and there. To promote both this channel and get Twitch growing as well. It would be foolish not to at this point. I know I wanted to take things steady, but at the end of the day they will feed into each other, the Twitch and the YouTube, so I do need to get that going. I just know it'll be a little bit more to manage. But I'm hopeful. My main concern is if my machine can actually run it well enough with both Twitch and YouTube going at the same time, if the internet here will hold out. I'm hoping so. And speaking of Eternal Strands, It is feeling like a very big Monster Hunter warm-up for an Ash Peak Drake. Chonky little wyvern dragon. And the systems in that game, like, you've got very simple combat in terms of like what weapon swings you can do and stuff like that. You get a sword and shield, a great sword, and a bow, which you can swap at your leisure. But the main kind of interactable in the combat is this magic system where you have ice attacks, telekinetic attacks, and fire attacks. So as this dragon's fighting me, I can shoot blocks of ice at its head and clamp its mouth shut. So imagine, wow, when your dragon's firing off its breath, if you could just say, no, you stop. And it has to kind of bite its way through or burn its way through. Freeze its wings so it lands on the ground, freeze its feet to the ground, knock it out of the air by doing so. While it is flying, just chuck stuff up at it with telekinesis. It works really well. And actually, didn't quite get me, but it was a very fun fight. Oh no, I did this last time. Don't do it. Yeah. Now I look forward to seeing what more the game has to offer. I have a good number of magical abilities still to get. The crafting system, it's very straightforward, but I really enjoy it for that. And you can say, if something requires a bit of metal, a bit of wood, a bit of like woven cloth material, you can use all that material interchangeably, and the rarity of the material will dictate the stats. And then you can like dismantle things, you can craft new versions, you can reforge versions. There's a lot of like little bits of customization with it. And again, it being more on the simple side, I actually really appreciate. There's so many games with really complicated or overly unnecessary stat systems. It just works really well. Oh. Didn't realise that now in the Siren Isle. Whee! I still don't know what happened to all the underwater bits I was told before the zone came out, but suffice to say, never found any, nor have I been directed to any. But yeah, really enjoying Eternal Strands thus far, and it sits neatly in that kind of AA game category. The price reflects that as well. It is also one of those on Game Pass, those subscribed to the service. I mean, it's going to be a pretty big year for Game Pass as well. Avowed coming out around the same time as Monster Hunter, as I said before, also going to be on Game Pass. Doom coming to it. More and more it's making me like, I'm tempted to get it back myself again. There's actually going to be a fair few games this year for it. Who's about the, I don't know, the amount of the higher tier subscription at the moment? I don't know. It'd have to be a few more. Maybe again, if it gets to a point where they put WoW on the service, lump that in somewhere. That would be a no-brainer at that point, you know. Honestly, other than redirecting WoW sub money more to Microsoft, which, yeah, it'd probably be pretty good for Game Pass numbers. You'd get a lot of folks just on their WoW sub jumping over, depending on how they, I don't know, fit it together. You'd have to be careful not to cannibalize their own business. Because yeah, Microsoft would get more huzzah, but if Blizzard loses out on a chunk of it, that wouldn't exactly be ideal, would it? There's certainly a lot there. The number of... Oh, I need to do this Delver's Bounty at some point. Just because it's not going to be useful for Season 2, so... I need to crack on and do that as well. But yeah, I'm not expecting Eternal Strands to take me all the way up till Monster Hunter's release date. There's a decent amount of content there, but I don't think it's going to be in the hundreds. say if it leaves me with a week or so, try and get the Twitch streaming going. There might be a little bit of time where I'm not doing the WoW streams just to try and deal with that, but we'll see. Depends how messy it gets. Ideally, I'd still do the WoW stuff in the morning, bob out the shore, and then can spend the rest of the day and afternoon working on getting Twitch up and running. Need to do a few more art things as well. Look into a BRB screen maybe, or a starting soon screen, but I feel like I communicate that pretty well as we're going, but they must be used everywhere for a reason. Wait for this to get blown open. Let's have a swig of his beverage. Make sure you're doing the same out there. Keep yourselves hydrated. I'll keep nagging you till you do.
Well done. An exemplary
Let's go get this
display.
dragon.
The cave is open. Troops, deploy.
No other reason other than just to get a few more of the bits of flame best iron. Because they tend to drop a wee bit. We'll do what we've done in these past few weeks, going through the weeklies. Get the main set done here on our paladin. Jump over to different alts to do our profession stuff before jumping back on the mage and coming back to the Siren Isle to get some more iron. Just because again our dwarf gets access to that earthen / dwarf ensemble that we have to grind up. Wasn't paying attention to the wings. Also had a few more games cracking on at Hearthstone, as I said the other day. Gone back and had a look-see at it. I'm always curious to see expanding on the world of WoW with the different characters and all the different artwork and that kind of stuff. I ideally wish it had what Legendary Runeterra had, where you can kind of
The Empire
pull up a larger version of the artwork so you can actually look at it and appreciate it a little more. And weirdly, a load of the flavor text just says flavor text, or why isn't there better flavor text in here? And I'm like, is this on purpose, or I don't know. There's a weird aspect to it. But otherwise, the current kind of thing in the Great Dark Beyond, besides the StarCraft mini set, that's kind of the set they're going for. Is this like you get these different starships, or these starship pieces that build out into extremely big and dangerous units. At some point, I'm starting to understand how that works, but I really don't like it. Just because you can go from a winning position, your opponent's building this starship, you can't interact with it while it's being built, which, okay, I get. And it comes out and it can have so many, it takes basically every piece that you use to build it. It has all of their stats and individual, mechanics. So if one say, oh, when I die, gain X armor, or when I get summoned, summon stuff equal to my cost, it just ends up being a massive swing. It feels like removal's not where it used to be. So I noticed I was playing a little bit mage, I'm like, wait, why can't I put polymorph in my deck? Oh, it's no longer a legal card in this format. It used to be a core card of the set, and I'm like, well, that opens up, design space. You can now create crazier cards because you're not always worried about, well, it's just going to get polymorphed. But at the same time, the way those kind of ships just come out and end up super powerful, it's... I don't know, I just didn't really like it. Even building my own and getting one that's super powerful in the arena and being like, okay, I get the... I don't know if power fantasy is the right word in a TCG, but essentially that. But not quite for me. Still playing it a bit more. It's an easy one just to bob on with a bit of time. Pardon me. Under fragments, 2 of those. Wallbound mole. Nay, I'll take the transmog. It's not a bad one either. Let me up, please. I'm not in combat. What do you mean? Oh, hello. Was in combat. He is nothing without what? No, that's the bird we fought before. Will I get to it in time? Aye, we're good.
It's too far away.
It's odd that for...
Out of range.
Again, we're on different weeks for the folks on the Siren Isle. Why do the Vrykral always have this spot? Don't quite get it. We're meant to be swapping over. Bring down the angry bird. Let me tell everyone in the water. I don't know if there's... I know they've had their 10-year anniversary as well, just about, for Hearthstone. There were some anniversary rewards to grab as you logged in. I was hoping whichever set I logged... Because of the sets I've missed, there have been like some really like heavy Orden Alliance focused stuff, and that's the stuff I tend to really enjoy. I've missed a load of those. But I heard the Stormwind one was apparently a horrendous time in the game, because it had some mechanics going on that people really, really, really didn't like. I just find it a shame that they went away from the PvE side of the game. Like, there was kobolds and catacombs and the dungeon runs that you could do there. I remember absolutely loving. But, you know, doesn't sell as many card packs, do it? That's, I assume, the answer. And then there's a whole mercenaries mode in there that is that, but not really, because they want you to... Because it doesn't use your base collection at all, and it doesn't function in the same way as the regular game. So it wants you to buy more stuff. Like, it was interesting to start. And then it got to the point of like, well, now you have to do what seems to be really long grinds. And it's constantly advertising other things you can spend money on. And I'm like, this mode can sod off, actually. This isn't fun at all if you're constantly telling me to go and buy stuff. Then obviously they've got their like auto chest style thing with Battlegrounds, which every time I try it, I don't really enjoy playing like TFT, for example. That's League of Legends auto chest one, which is doing really well these days. I'll tangent to it properly in a moment, but I don't get Hearthstone's version. I don't really like it. I don't like how it plays. It's not incomprehensible by any means. It just... I don't like the flow of it. It's one of those very nebulous things. It's just not for me. But it's another one that's monetized to all hell. You know, it's not just the one battle pass for the main game. It's then a pass for that thing as well, with its own unlocks and all that jazz. And it's not like a situation what League did for TFT, which it's in the client, but it is also its own downloadable game. I suppose Blizz want to keep you in that ecosystem for both. For me, for WoW, is always like, why haven't you put Hearthstone in WoW in some way? Little open-upable window.
It won't be long before these sea snakes
Ah, good. Well, we can get onto the storm phase. But TFT, on the other hand, they've obviously done really well with all the arcane-related sets that have come out, or the set that's come out. With all your favourite characters, your Mel, your Victor, your Ambessa, all of that. Some very fun mechanics in there, which I enjoy quite a bit. And they've just done their set revival, where they bring back an older set and make it playable again. The one they've brought back at the moment for Festival of Beasts was... Oh, I'm trying to remember, I think the name of it was like Season of the Chosen or something. But it had my favourite mechanic, which was called Fortune. And basically, the more you lose, it builds up a loss streak And then once you win after a certain point, you get loads of rewards. So the goal is to lose as much as possible while not outright getting deleted from the game. And then you get a big payout. And then once you get that payout, you have to pivot really quickly and like use all the upgrades and stuff you get. Oh, we got a screwdriver. Just a really standard modern screwdriver. Perfect for percussive maintenance. I will take that transmog. How much of that is warbound? All of it is warbound. Fantastic. Right, let's get into the storm.
How you doing, pal? Quitting time.
I'm assuming we still can't fly in the storm phase. No, 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 no. It makes sense. I get it. We could have on his mech. And there's all rares I've covered already. Let's head over to the same set of quests as we do every time we're in here. Make sure we're looting as we go. And there's our mystery meat. I wonder if that means the weeklies for our little snapdragon friend requires another X number of days in here. Because I know that's not a weekly quest, it's a daily quest to build up that little friend to get them to come as a mount. And get the different colours and whatnot. But because I'm only doing this on a weekly basis, it doesn't really come up. For lack of a better term. Hey, I'll sell it. Yep, I'll go burn these. Always reminds me of Fallout, this bit. Reasons I've gone over prior. And speaking of Bethesda stuff, there are some rumours around a similar time to Avowed, which would be horrendous if true, that an Oblivion remaster be coming out sometime this year. Now, when I first played Oblivion, it felt like an uncle's house who had an Xbox and a big TV, and it was like, ooh. And it was my first time kind of engaging with like that whole first-person perspective for an RPG. And I could only ever play it when we'd visit, which would be maybe between 1 and 3 times a year, if that. So it was very slow progress, as you could imagine. But I enjoyed it a lot more than I remember enjoying Skyrim after the fact, so I'd be really curious to play an Oblivion remaster. If it is coming around the same time as Avowed, Microsoft would be cannibalizing its own audience a little bit and then setting Obsidian and Bethesda's games against each other. I hope they've simply been smarter than that. It'd be really surprising if they fumble it so they're within a week of each other or closer. You want to at least give a month between games like that, if not longer. But if that is indeed true and there is an Oblivion remake coming out, or remaster of some description coming out this year, very curious to see how much work they've done for it. Because, you know, a fresh coat of paint's one thing. Those games have always been notoriously buggy. It's a lot to love about Oblivion. Even as long ago as it was, there are still quests that I remember. Moments that stand out. I'd love to see it again all gussied up. But it is going to be a pretty ham year for big role-playing games at this rate. And I'd still like to get onto some indie stuff. There's that other fragment, which I can't swap with my warband, goddammit. Pardon me. And forgive me, still a little groggy from yesterday. There were a lot of really good indie games that have come out past couple of years that I just haven't gotten around to. Like Blatro is probably the biggest one that I never got to. But I love a good roguelike. I love a good bit of really addictive repetitiveness,
This stuff sells
for lack of a better
itself.
term.
Come back anytime.
I'm really eager to give it a go just because of how much people have loved it. There's all kinds of stuff. There's a game called Kill Night that came out that looked really gory and a lot of fun. Been a number of the more like AD style roguelikes or mixed in with Vampire Survivors. There've been a load of different ones of those coming out to capitalise on that. Ones that mix more ARPG stuff into the mix. A load of stuff that went into early access and we're still waiting for. There was one that I played a little bit of in early access. It's called No Rest for the Wicked. Which is like a Diablo meets Dark Souls style. That's doing really interesting things with its perspective and camera. Trying to make it a lot more heavily story focused. That first time playing through on early access, I was like, there's a lot of good potential here. There's a lot of good stuff. Like many things, it's another one just sat in that early access back burner, waiting to eventually get to on full release. Got Windblown, that's another one. Those are the folks who made Dead Cells originally. Very famous indie game at this point. And Dead Cells itself had so much new content and DLC that I never ended up going back to. Feels like it'd be a whole different game. Slay the Spire, roguelike card game, birthed a genre of its own pretty much. Everyone started putting card games in everything. Played a lot of that first one. Not gonna lie, played a huge amount of that first Slay the Spire. So a sequel, absolutely something I check out. It's unclear if that was going to be something eventually coming in early access or not. Or release of Hades 2 at some point as well. I think we stay out here and use our mech to the fullest of our ability before we go in and do the last bit of the quest in there, just so we can more easily clear everything out here. Get that 100%. Just join people in mowing down skeletons. You'll have to let me know, for those of you live or those of you watching down the line later, what are you looking forward to this year? And why is it just GTA 6? You know? The Switch 2. I'm sure there's plenty of folks to look forward to. I know at the start of this month we've had people are just now starting to play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Which, that's a game I respect from a distance. It's a little too realistic focus in a way where I could see myself losing a lot of time. You know, it's the kind of game where when your clothes get dirty, you need to wash them or people aren't going to talk to you. You know, that kind of historical RPG without all the fantasy bonuses. You know, I could see myself losing a lot of time to, but I don't think a game that's going to be that system deep, I'm going to have a great time streaming. Especially with other RPGs on the way. Avowed will be much more my cup of tea. Again, maybe sometime in the future. We've just got a new Civ game coming out as well. That's another one where it's just mechanical complexity. I've tried to enjoy a good number of those games. Closest has been like Total War Warhammer. But that's more of a love of the Warhammer franchise than it is a love of 4X strategy games. There's one that got a sequel announced, which is Eternal Legends 2. The first one I played a chunk of. Again, as much as I try to get invested in those fantasy worlds and figure it out, I just don't get when there's that many systems in play. Between the political side of it, trying to negotiate relations and trading, combat, building resources, making sure you're doing stuff in specific orders so as not to screw yourself. Like I'm okay at RTS. You know, I was alright at StarCraft and Age of Empires. Nothing to write home about, but I could play them okay. when you add another layer on top of that, it went from, I like making a load of folks to go and fight each other. Yes. Battle for Middle-earth days. Oh, goodness me. Little dwarven hero that could cause an earthquake and blow up an army and half their base. Oh, that were good stuff. Alas, they're never going to make a third one of those. But I digress. There's a lot of stuff in the RTS genre that's potentially coming out and building up this year as well, so I'll have to see. It would be delightful for that genre to make it come. I know I say it nearly every time I branch on this topic, but man, I won't hold out hope though. It'd have to be something pretty crazy. And down you go. Or it'd be a matter of something like Blizzard coming back and potentially revitalizing it. You never know. There we are. Let's double check those names. Pretty sure I've killed everything that's listed there.
Belladar shift in your fate.
There you go, Regold. Now we need to run back to our little creature and feed it this stormy meat. For some reason it's a fussy eater. Curious to see when we get to the next patch in Undermine. One, how long it will take to get to that point of, right, we're in the weekly grind, we're doing these different weekly quests. And how much of an actual story campaign there are. I'll be a little disappointed if it takes me one stream to do all the story stuff in the 0.1 patch. They might have done that thing again where they've time-gated a load of it. That's not an uncommon choice. Nope. Too many crab. Bubble. We do our cowardly paladin. We're away. Nah, get some cover in fire. Susie, get me out!
Don't work too hard.
There we go. There you go, Snapdragon.
Get your feet
Upon
moving.
seeing the
We got
meat,
a tunnel to
you have
blast
brought
through.
it. Snapdragon clicks its jaws hungrily. The second you set down the meat, it tears into it, voraciously finishing the meat in seconds. It looks up at you with newfound respect in its eyes. After all, you have slain mighty creatures to bring it this meal. I won't go that far, little one. Oh, it get bigger! I assume that's another week worth of quests to go through it. Maybe it's worth just going on the daily and coming in here to feed it. Again, I'm not that big of a mount collector. I'm assuming by these around this poor goblin up here that those are the different colour variants you can get for it as well. Right, how much flame blessed am I looking at? About 2k. Not loads, but enough to start making some purchases. Sell off our junk.
Yeah.
Have anything else that was soulbound? Nope, they can all go in the bank. Don't think I need the apple cider, but I guess we'll keep it for now. These runes might well be something I look into to try and get done beforehand to get that thundery bird mount. Again, an armor set would intrigue me a lot more.
Time's a waste.
I don't think there's any reason to move my main back to Dornagol, so what I'm going to do is we're going to open up our wall bank from here. Let's get all these bits and bobs in here. Almost at the point where my enchanter needs to get to work again. Almost. Now once it gets too full... Oh, these do say War within Season 1. Bonus conquest gear. Hoping they don't just disappear and I can at least get the transmogs. Here we are. Oh, these are all the same book note. Ridiculous. Oh no, I do need to go back to Donegal. I forgot. Baroque here has some professions quests to do as well.
We will
Angry.
not tolerate a threat to our airship on this island. No matter.
Lovers in the air stuff still going on, of course. We had a look in on the druid at some of those. Seems okay. There's some stuff to earn. I got a little bit of transmog hours after. Oh, speaking of. Oh, tendies. Because again, for those who weren't here on Monday to see, they've brought back a load of old vendors with old trading post rewards, including the cap rewards that are at the end of each month. At this tiger, or more importantly for me, this Bones of the Blood Hunter ensemble. Very unique piece. I haven't come back since. This was like the first one that appeared on the trading post as the end of month reward, so not as bothered by the Harlequin Jester, but this one, absolutely.
Pleasure doing business.
And a big pile of mounts, weapons, and other ensembles. I think the only other one from the actual month itself was Polearm?
Welcome to the trading post.
Yeah, we looked at all the others. Just because that's a pretty fancy polearm. I like it quite a lot. And there are a load of capes and stuff as well, but we got some version. I like that these shoulder pads come with 2 different variants, which is pretty nice. I picked up one of those. And I was like, I don't often use pink. Wouldn't mind the boots. You've got different skirts and stuff as well. Just more options. Including some of the old loves. The Sailor Moon outfit, for those who missed that as well. Pink Fox, lovey-dovey weapons. A lot of stuff.
Bye for now.
But you add all that in these vendors over here. They're giving like a bonus 500 tendies this month, but that's not much in the grand scheme of the bloody trading post, so we'll have to see. Right then, what I'm going to do, pop down my little leaf bed over here. We're going to have a quick bio break before we come back and get on with all our different profession quests. So let me just tippity type into the chat. Tip. There we go. Alright. Stretch your legs, refill your beverage. I'll be back with you in a few minutes. See you soon. And we're back. Thank you for your patience. Oh, yeah. Just get my headset back on. With those elite sets out of the way now, I think the next streams will be some alt leveling mainly. Oh, swing for a beverage. Mainly looking through all the different armor sets coming.
Communication initiated.
Next patch.
Resuming work cycle.
The main one I'm after for an elite set is going to be the monk one. And while I have a monk at level 70 from Remix, I want to get my old Draenei monk up and going. She's at about level 52, so it won't take too long, but certainly needs getting up there. I believe the Darkmoon Fair is still on for... Yeah, we can make use of that for a couple of days. And that is, if you recall, going to the fair, riding the roller coaster, and then you get about an hour's worth bonus XP, which means you do have to go back and ride the roller coaster again, but you know. Alright, we're looking for first crafts and double recipe. Or double knowledge. Well, that's a first craft. I haven't made the toolbox for myself. Yeah, I still have the Dragon Isles one. Hey, yay, yay. 20 ingots, though. But they're requiring the acuity for it. Does it actually require that? It does. I'm nowhere near. Nightmare. Right. Can I make these iron claw ones? I can make 3, apparently. I need a couple of these. I'm going to need to buy some more echoing flux. Do that now before I forget.
I have calibrated my prices to be reasonable.
Bonk. There we go. Should have that sorted.
My directive has been fulfilled.
Wait, I made 2 charged alloys by mistake. God damn it. Oh well. That's me hitting the wrong button. Absolute numpty. It's alright, one day I'll learn how to craft. It's more for someone who doesn't do Mythic Plus or raiding beyond the occasional bit of Raid Finder. Especially in expansions after. A lot of the gear requires the sparks you get to actually forge a load of those different transmog pieces I'd want. I don't know how easy it is to earn those, especially when it's not current content. To see down the line. Again, they're still working out a lot of the kinks with the newer crafting system. I'm sure they've had plenty of feedback between now and Dragonflight. Right, where are we? The toolbox. Yes, yes, I know there's some of my own. At least I have plenty of those ingots. There's a 1. See, these sparks of omen are the ones. Yeah, that's 1. That's double knowledge. Give, give, give. Lovely stuff. Now this is a double, and it'd be a first craft, but I'd need 12 iron claws, 6 sanctified. I make much in the realm of sanctified alloys. No, not with... Hey. It's the rarer stuff that... I know, I feel like I've done a decent amount of gathering across different characters, but I suppose not gathering with... it all upgraded, so you're making sure you're getting a lot of the rarer materials. You just end up lacking them. Isn't this axe? How are you? Gauntlets, at least that's 1. Or is that an all? Lovely. There are blacksmithing orders. I don't know too much in the way of how many new crafting things Undermine's going to have, but we'll find out.
You wish to speak?
There we go. Bang in all that knowledge and then jump over to the bank to drop that lever in. Those herbs as well. And I'm hoping that the Undermine actually has mining nodes about. Otherwise we will just be at a constant deposit of them.
I have calibrated my prices to be reasonable.
Don't necessarily need to put that one in there, but might as well.
My things.
Alright, let's keep the train rolling. Swap over to the next one. Barrow here in the middle of Donegal. Alright. All ready to go. Next one from Kayla. Good stuff. Fly on over to the herbalist.
The coreway must be protected. Return if you wish
Nothing
to
too
speak
crazy.
again.
Decent little chunk of XP. Alright, we do our weekly one here. I need more of this catalysts, which means I need to reclaim some potions. Where was that one? Not recraft, it's not thaumaturgy. No, the wild experiment. Where is it? This happens every time I come here on my goddamn alchemist. There we go. Because it's the tooltip says reclaim them, and then this is neutralize. We might as well grab as many of these as we can, but I want to level up the alchemy a little bit more before I do too much of it. Do a freestyle one, why not? Thought I learnt the ability to do this twice. Maybe that was the other kind of thaumaturgy one. That's fine. Orders. We're looking for first crafts. If we can find them. That's a double and a first craft, and I have the recipe. And they provide most of the stuff in that kind. Concentrate. Beautiful stuff. Genius breakthrough. Another unlearned, then we look for a double. Ah, that'd be the easiest one. We need some more gilded vials. We can grab them off the vendor here, I believe.
My directive.
Right, there we
is
go.
to serve.
Not cheap, are they?
My thanks for your patience.
Comparatively speaking. Fine for many a player, not for my poor ass. There we go. Put that up there. I'll be lazy and some of the war bank in here.
The winds guide you.
Ah, on Barrow, I forgot to put my knowledge in stuff. Jump back over and do that quickly, because otherwise I'm just going to completely forget until next week. Okay. Trying to get that because I'm going to need that at some point. Okay. And the herbs. Then again, just filling those in so we get more of them. Quickly jump on. Just to put that knowledge in. Make sure I've got it. I'm hitting that point on Barrow as my main though, where I'm almost... I have pretty much every bit of transmog I wanted, so actually min-maxing this stuff is next protocol. I care about alloys and flameworks. A better hammer's probably the way to go. I'm trying to remember where on earth I was going. It's optional stuff. We certainly wanted the better blacksmith hammer, but then I wanted to go... I know, I still don't just have it intuitively what all these different skill points do. Like what skill actually means. That kind of thing. I know there's a way to find out, but it isn't. If I click, there we go. Quality, something's crafted at. Concentration lets you bump up that quality. Fewer resources, crafting speed, and then a chance to break through, which just gets concentration back. So it seems like if you just want stuff to be good, you just need to focus on skill completely. Which, alright. I'll get you. This can refine more of the ore. That's more if I get to the point of just selling it, though. Jump onto a skinner. That means jumping out of the city to chuck that elusive bit of bait down.
How may I aid you?
I always preferred Arms Warrior to Fury, but it never felt as fun to play when a load of changes came in, so I just ended up going with Fury at that
With
point.
an empty stomach, a Ramelith has one direction.
I know Edelgard, but
to
I
eat.
can't get furs and skins off them. Put our slab of meat down. Very enticing. No trap at all. Wait for it. Shout very loudly. Aha! A wolf!
It's too far away.
Angry stomps. You know, unless there's more to... Obviously, you can level up the bit that makes your bait better on a short cooldown, all that jazz, but a lot to wrap one's head around between multiple characters. Do I have what I need here? Yep. I know for the Thunderous Hide we had to go and buy some. Ooh, 1 point off learning the rest of these, that'll help. Right, what do we got? That's a double, but again, we're looking for first crafts first and foremost. Still unclear whether I get the transmog. When it's a crafting order. Hang on. I'm actually just going to Google this now, just in case it's an easy answer to find. Might be one of them finicky things where it's not talked about much. Give me a moment. Oh, crafting order. Unlock transmog? Question mark. Alright, this does not seem clear at all. We'll need to have a much deeper dive. That'll take a bit longer. Try and be really specific with my wording. Just don't have any of all these various bonus hides for stuff. Right, well this is a double, so I'm going to start with this. Single, single. Purity, not ideal. Hey, a double from the galoshes. Need way more gloom shitting. Can I make these riving hides? I can. Why is these ones? Which requires those? I like the idea of one thing being used to create like 5 more of the same thing. You know what I mean? You have to make this one to then make all the others, and that requires doubling up on material. Then what was the other bit I needed? Gloom shitting. Not going to be in the wall bank, isn't it? But I have nowhere near enough of it. Let's go see if it's not inexpensive on the auction house.
I have an extended supply of goods for Outlanders.
Not too bad. Let's see, if I got 120 of it, how much would it be? 700. 200. Seems like one we'd use a lot of. Like, it cost over 100 for that. That's the thing, if you're not playing a character constantly and constantly going out and grinding the resources, you'd... Think about the ore and the herbs is that a lot of characters I just have going about gathering those as we level, but because I only have like 1 or 2 skinners, even then, if it's not one I'm playing constantly, because it feels like this expansion compared to others, there's been a lot less skinning. Okay, we can make it. That works for any of them. The other one's crystal fused hide. Which should be able to make 3 of. Just run out of Thunderous again. I can buy some more. These first crafts, though, give me bunches of XP, which I appreciate. I wish it would always give you XP, though. Like, regardless. Concentrate. Oh, no. Need some armor banding as well. God damn it. Luckily, that one's doable. Beautiful. Okay. So I haven't collected the transmog. If I go over to a mail wearer, will that now be unlocked? Is the question. Fire's level 80 though. I don't have a character who could actually test that. No, it'd just be grayed out. I should still be able to check and see if it's doable. Right, let's put in our knowledge before we forget. More trophy. And then more transmog options. Lovely stuff. There you go, Kayla. Tiny bit more XP. A little bit more. And also unlock a new specialization, which means we will unlock the level 1. Start getting that transmog as well. It's interesting that leather working comprises of mail and leather. It's not like they needed I don't know, a bonus profession that focused on mail, but it used to be a blacksmithing thing. I don't know why it swapped to leather. Kind of requires them both in a weird way. That WoW doesn't really accommodate for. Now, hang on, my evoker's level 80. So in theory, evoker's mail, right? That's mail armor. Or is it leather? Can't remember. I'll find out. Hang on. Yeah, it's mail. Okay. So I swapped to my Visage form. Elections leg. So that's the model, but not in the color. Yeah, there it is. So that confirms it then. Doing it through work orders does not grab you the transmog, unfortunately. What if I log out in Visage form, if that keeps it there for the login screen? Never actually checked that, because I usually go back to the other one. Nope, it remains Derg. Fair enough. Right, on to our engineer. That's annoying. If you're spending all those materials to craft stuff for those orders, especially when you struggle to get them yourself, it's like, why not have it unlock the transmog? I have made the item. It will be in my hands very briefly. Or being shipped off, I suppose. I don't know. Maybe that's an oversight. Or just not something they considered.
May the Titans carve.
I would be very happy to have that changed, though. But now, accept where we are and we move on. Alright, what have we got? Any first crafts? One. For which I need... Oh, we're starting to get... Oh, it's the scrap they're applying, so that's alright. The others I can kind of make. Entropy enhancer and a whimsical wiring. There we go. No need for concentration on this one. Can only be what it can be. No more there, so I'll go for this safety switch just because that's the easiest and it gives us a double. Even if we have to concentrate on it. Lovely. Oh, and then some progress for our log as well. A decent amount, apparently. About bits and bobs. Acuity, am I sat on 200? It sucks that to buy more knowledge you need to spend acuity, and then a load of your recipes require more acuity, but
Ancestors watch over.
I know, it just feels troublesome. Let's get all that knowledge banked up. Get it spent. Where were we? Okay, wrapping up this one, I think. There we go. Slapping the mining ones too. Oh, nope, not that, not that. We're heading towards the gather while flying. The most useful. Then we can open up our war bank. Very lazily dropping everything. That was not engineering specific. There we go. Alright, to the next one. Enchanter. I always liked Hobmorgra here.
Speak and be heard.
I didn't often see much reason to go and play my same class again.
Order.
But I liked having a Horde variant of said main. How are we doing on enchanting supplies?
What is your command?
Hey, we're good.
Titans will return. Be ready.
Again, the war bank wasn't so full where I had to disenchant yet, but we're not far off. Definitely before the next patch comes out. Lovely. Nice, quick and easy. And to the next. Jewel crafting. What's some speculation about the survival hunter spec? Or less speculation and more desire that folks wanted it to be a tanking spec. I just think in theory is pretty cool, but then are you the tank or is your pet? And how do you differentiate that from just, you know, trying to make a pet tank anyway? Would be an interesting idea though. I know there was a lot of rumours about potentially Shamans getting a tank spec this expansion. Didn't really pan out either. That would be pretty cool to see. They don't use much of their earth magic.
Titan's bedrock
That
and
possibility is always a
foundation.
fascinating one. At least I'm remembering where all the stations are.
Do you have a query?
Right, what do we got? Big fancy one. It's a first craft. It does require a blasphemite, which they're providing, so that's fine. I just need some crushed gemstones, which I can get a lot. This isn't the one for crushing. No, I can still get some crushed gemstones here. That helps. Got more of those. So I don't know how many gems I'm sat on to crush. About to hit 170. Go. Nope, don't pull me out. Okay, then let's crush these. Game. Still a little fiddly. See, like, why does it keep saying requires 3? You can see I've got more than 3 there. Why are we struggling? Should do for now. Hey, there we go. 2-star, which means I can concentrate to it. The more gems you have, the better it gets, it looks like. Interesting bit of trinket. No, endgame trinkets are, for the Mythic Plus style stuff, very important. That's a first craft and a double. Very nice. I don't need to concentrate, but why not? It's not like I use it all in a week. Lovely stuff. Ha! Come to me, Mount. Might even level up from these. Maybe. Very nice. Hop. Kill it if you wouldn't mind. On a ding. Lovely. Going down that side. I'm sure I picked that side for a reason. Probably. Possibly. Same again. At least they're all kind of leveling at the same pace. More stuff for prospecting. Question is now, so that while we're prospecting does more. What else in this direction? More resourcefulness for stones, resourcefulness for glass. I think getting more while we're prospecting is probably the way to go. It's just which colour do I want? Oh, but it's saying instead of the amber, which isn't ideal. Maybe multicraft's just better. The idea of prospecting away null stone is ridiculous. Obviously, this final one of getting potentially 2 at a time might be worth it, but when is that? It's 20 a piece. I think we go for the multi-crafting instead. Alright, and I did the mining one. Yes, very good, very good. 240, a few bits and bobs. Not else really to jump over. Finishing reagents I still don't use very much, if at all. Jumping on over to the last one. That Inscriptor. And Taylor. With the bloody Dawn Weave and Dusk Weave thing going on, I don't know. I'd be less annoyed if they weren't on time limits. And again, I'm sure Blizz have their reasons, but... understand it for the early days of gearing, but I don't know. I get a profession having one big cooldown for every 24 hours to a week. I understand that, but when you get into the realm of multiple, especially when they're used for a lot of recipes, I don't get it. Ooh, one more skill point. Alright, free tailoring items. We're looking for first crafts, and we're looking for double knowledge. As long as it's a recipe we can use, of course. Yeah, we can make this Dawnweave reagent bag. Again, it's something I'd love to do where... the whole goal of setting up this profession train was so I could make all this stuff for my alts, but... just to level them up with the crafting orders, I'm using what few resources I actually have to do so. Hey, that's a first craft. They give me the Omen. It's a shame I have to use half my Dawnweave bolts, but... again, we're looking for that big fun. Still annoyed now that we can't collect appearances through doing this. Oh, I can't even do this one because I don't have enough skill with it. Don't have the recipe. What is that? Specific enchanter's bag. I like that idea of more customization, but bloody hell. Fiddly business. Fiddly business. Oh, 1 bolt for double. Gimme, gimme. Very kind. Very kind indeed. There's a double as well, and a first craft. Beautiful. Should make one of these for myself. Yep, let's do it. Why not? Concentrate and make it good. Something for me for once. Oh, that's our transmog stuff. I wanted to get these first because it felt like I'd need them to make them. Okay, that's upping the quality of cloth. And learning to craft fancier bits of cloth, which we might actually need for all the transmog stuff. That's actually finding the cloth, which if this character was going out and about more, that would be ideal, but at the moment she's not. She's just kind of sat here, so I think I do this one next. I should... I don't know, I can make them. But there is a couple of bits at the bottom of each one. Right, we've started down this dawn and dusk route, we'll finish it. Right, let's head on over to the inscriptor.
The coreway must be
Ooh, a couple new bits. Very nice. Right. First crafts. There's one. That's a single. Also a single. Do they give me any different things they provide themselves? Yes, apparently. This one provides most of the stuff. Well then, you're getting my order. It's nice you get a little chunk of gold as well for doing it. I wouldn't know how much that adds up, but... That's a first craft for one, but they need me to provide the cipher. One. It's a first craft and 10 ciphers. Nah, I think I'm good. Take that one and make one cipher, that's fine. Which needs one more ink, but I need 2. Two stars so we can concentrate. Lovely stuff. I think I forgot last week's again.
I've been expecting you. Made me
Beautiful. And you have to let me know out there how you feel about current state of professions. Is this something you enjoy using? Is it a necessary evil? Do you absolutely despise it? Like, where are you at with professions these days? Do you even bother? Or are you crafting a load of work orders and commissioning people? I'd love to hear your experiences. Because again, my own are very limited. Let's get all this knowledge put in. Right, and on to more of this. Oh, the buff you can put in. That probably sells pretty well at the auction house. It's the quality, though, the huge cost difference. Right, let me just cheekily open up the wall bank. Lazily deposit. There we go. I think everything else there's alright. Oh, better lever that. Very good. Right, that's everybody done and sorted. My poor demon hunter who never got this far. I could bring him in and get him to Dornagol, skip the intro experience, and actually get him skinning a little bit just to get the weekly. But then he'd just be doing the weekly and giving in furs and things that we don't actually have. We're alright for now. Definitely need more skinning to happen. Like, it's none of these, is it, other than my actual level worker? No. I'm going to need to do it on my monk as well. I think we just do mining and skinning. Still gonna have a fair bit of time. Why not? Now to remember how to skip that intro experience. I believe we just talked to Khadgar and we can skip from there. Memory serves. Let's have a swig of his beverage. It's level 70, so he should make use of it. Does not want to load him into Dalaran. A busy city, apparently, before blowing up. No, don't teleport me to Stormwind. Don't know why that's... What kind of quest is that? Okay, that's our Night Elf one, but I've done that on my other one, but having it will be fine. Rivers are all dark, sure, which is odd. I guess he was leveling in there for a bit. Yeah, I don't think we need 135 mossy boots. I think we're good. Let's get us over at Syphilis. I really liked the tanking spec on Demon Hunter. I didn't play much of the DPS one. It was just fun leveling as a tank, and going through dungeons was pretty simple. Or at least felt it at the time. I don't know. If anything, over the years, I've got more nervous about doing dungeons.
You saw it too.
They're growing stronger.
And
time
skip.
for Azeroth.
Whee! Okay, so we need to get to 25. Oh, I need to put a mount in that slot there. Which one did I have? Flame Lord Hippogriff, generally speaking. Now you Tarib. Gimme. There's one. How much gold do I have? Ay, 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 not enough to buy the other one. Sadness. Grab that real quick.
My directive is.
Yeah, let me withdraw. Just add a note, a couple of K. There you go. There you go. Breathe, Refugia. Breathe. Alright, then Skinny. There we go. So now then... Hang on. That's pretty garbage gear. Oh no, he had like the Dalaran stuff, so that should actually mean he's okay just wandering out there. It's not on war mode, so he should be fine. I need ore, and I need skins. Memory served, the easiest places were up and around here near the Rubians and up and around Rambleshire. You got ore turned on? Yes, fine materials is on. Good. You're level 71, we can do you. So yes, I had to grab these things. Why am I Irvin? I don't know. Not Storm Dwarf, I suppose. Not Irvin per se. It doesn't have a jump animation, so it just kind of slides. That's pretty good. I see, not as good. So that Dalaran stuff did help from the anniversary event. Well, the Elite, or the Rare had 2 of those. Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, I've got a load of old crap. Oh no. What was he doing? Maybe swap one of these other bags to reagents for now. So I can better organise that after the fact. Got a chunk of trial of style tokens as well. Man, I wish all that was warbound. Where are you? Oh no. Fine. We're fine. Give me it in my overload. There we go. Breathe on him. And it always felt like a very straightforward tank to play. Impossible for me to say it for sure for like harder content, but leveling with it was fun. Yeah, glaives on it. I still think there's little to no reason these days that demon hunters can't be the other classes, but that will mean doing something with Illidan come Last Titan, as we've speculated on before. Why am I turning into an Iron Dwarf? Oh. It just says one of the races of Northrend. Come over here. You'll come over here. Try and grab as many as you at once. Which one of these did a... one. Give me them skins. And goal is to hit level 25, because then we get the little weeklies. Then this character can start aiding in that effort. Seems a decent spot for farming leather. For these buggers coming in and out. Make sure we're grabbing some ore as we go.
I'm out of range.
Oh, it's Taliesin again. Gotta love recognising voice actors. Makes me chuckle. I don't remember what any of the moves do, but I know which I'm hitting buttons. And if they're going down when I'm hitting the buttons, then it's all good. Seemed like what Cupid in earlier stream was saying and what we saw in the arena. Havoc seems very strong. There were some really wild abilities happening as well. And that ability, I don't know when a lot of these came in, but the one where they can just jump up into the air and be kind of untouchable for a bit. Oh, someone else has killed that one, which means more skin for me. Give it. Aww. And that time it gave me garbage. I don't understand the game. Hey, at least my little spikes come out my back. That's nice. Give me your bits. Why is he not rested? He was sat in Dalaran, for God's sakes. Seems odd. The disappearing thingamabob. I love that when I just get a friend to come help me. That's nice. Can't skin Nerubians, so why bother? Whatever reason, I can't skin these ones. Why are you being indecisive for game? I just want their furs.
It's too far away.
Grab the whole herd. Reason beasts of Azeroth are so scared of players. To skinners. Mowing down entire families. We are the problem.
I need to target something.
But then again, we always have been. Oh, now I'm one of these. Nuka. Is this going to be... I know there's been a few different Tauren races, but if High Mountain Taurens only differences are markings and horns and size, that would have to mean these would have to be allied races at some point too. Otherwise it wouldn't be fair if they were just then customization options. I wonder if they ever put a limit on that, or at some point WoW gets to that stage where, you know, we're not doing big expansions as often. Yeah, have another allied race. Or next month, have another allied race. Just start piling them in. Right, we just need a little bit more. What was this button? Hunt. Charge to your target, striking. Oh, that's the one I've seen them doing in the arena and stuff. Very silly. Almost feels like a MOBA ability, that one.
I don't have a target.
There we go. Right, which one was it? It's the one with the trophies we were doing. Oh, that was the specific one I was doing on my Worgen. So I wanted the rare materials. So I guess on this one we just do the generic grab all. At the very least it'll help. Right, now for the mining. What this? No, it's just a law thing, which I will have read on the main. The problem with leveling up the mining one is we have to fly around for a good while. Shouldn't take us too long though. Then we can jump back on the mage. Get the rest of the Siren Isle done for the day. Venture carefully around the PvP zone. Gross. Always gross. Never liked it. Can't say whether or not if they did make more races able to use demon hunters, if I'd be bothered leveling one or just do a race change. But to be fair, the prospect of more remixes to level characters would make me hesitant these days to even leveling my monk now for next patch. There's a part of me that's like, yeah, but we'll be able to level one later. Of course, then we wouldn't get the elite set of the next season. But you know what I mean? It's just it's now a constant thought in the back of my head. Like there will be a faster way to level characters, so why bother? The main reason I leveled so many in Pandaria's remix was just to get all those different allied race and heritage armors. So without that incentive next time, obviously there is a huge amount of transmog and stuff. That was the other main reason for doing it. So for the next time round, it'll obviously be... Maybe I'll actually get to the point of being able to solo some raid stuff. Because that was what I'd hoped to be able to do from Pandaria, was to go and farm Garrosh's tusks myself. But I never... Because I had to use all the bronze, grab all the different transmogs and stuff, and that currency was used for both leveling up your gear and for buying cosmetics, it meant you couldn't really commit to both if you wanted to get them to that high enough level. I'm hoping the next time through they change that though. But given Legion is also, you know, class order halls, that might well be a reason in and of itself to level different characters. Maybe that... Especially for the artifacts, right? Because in Pandaria Remix, you could earn and get stuff for the other classes. And that's fantastic. That's great. But in Legion, where the artifacts are so intrinsically tied to a class, is it going to be do it on multiple? We're going to have to see. I hope not. I'll probably have my Irvin leveled by then as well for their heritage armor. Just have it done beforehand, more than anything else. The Sorak priest we were doing. 14 mining. Oh, grab a bit of wax. Always got to grab a bit of wax while we're out and about. stuff. Oh, and I can skin these. Yes. Garbage. Followed by garbage. Followed by garbage. And go, why let me skin them then? Why bother? It's going to be garbage each goddamn time. Wait. Oh, is that what I learned from... Oh. So that's their kind of... That's pretty good. It doesn't say this cooldown can be shortened by doing more skinning and stuff, though. Well, that's a decent way of making sure you get some of the rarer stuff. I like that. Wish I'd read that properly on my other one, but I was like, get the rare stuff. We need that rare stuff. Just because, to be fair, he's not out skinning very often. He's me a Worgen. Now, 10 more. Wish these ones could knock you up a little more than one at a time. No, please. Give me my shiny up. Which you'll just stare at to get the powers of the Demon Hunter. Don't have to swing my arms, I just stare at the ore and it's mine. Oh, rare here, we'll take that. The voice for taking damage sounds different from the regular voice, which is interesting. Lovely, lovely. Seems like running around and finding the rare beast is probably a decent way to farm for leather working. Skinning, rather. It's got the skill up pretty quickly as well. Right, 7 more. It's a mushroom. I doubt I can skin a mushroom. No, because it's herbalism, isn't it? Get out of it. What'd I just say? Don't need your mushrooms. I don't see why they wouldn't have let you just skin them for more herbs, though, but, you know. They don't want that much crossover. Bit of wax. We might get a scorpion or one of these. Hey, that'll do. That's going to be a skinnable thing, surely. Eh, give. Eh. That'll do. Take the XP as well. Still don't understand why I'm not rested. Maybe it's because it was that under bit of Dalaran. You know, we weren't in the city proper. I was in that bit where you were teleported underneath. Maybe that didn't count as a rested area. Which, that just feels like an oversight, but sure. That's where we're at with it. Nearly there. Need to put my half-stone to Dornagal, lest we forget. But then we'll have another alt ready to join the profession train. It's just going to be nice to have someone else skidding, to be fair, even if it's just when we do it on a week, going out and using the sharpening knife thing to guarantee a little bit of something, it helps. Of course, once we get into leveling him around the place, it'll be much more useful. How many is that? 24. One more. Start heading in the direction of Donegal then. Yeah, since it would be one of you, wouldn't it? Kind. Please. So unnecessarily violent. There we go. Very good. Back to the city then. And get those weeklies handed in. It's not something I wish for newer players the game was clearer about. Like, there's no indication that leveling one up to 25 then unlocks a weekly quest for you. Obviously, if you're doing it and leveling one, it'll kind of happen through, you know, just through osmosis, through playing. You will go back to the city at some point because you're always going back for the main quest, and you'll notice, oh, I've been gathering, and now this weekly's popped up. I don't know, if there was just some kind of heads up. There you go, Tarib.
Speak and be heard. May rook nor
And
ram
there's a lot of
take
things like that that just is like, what's the word? Assumed knowledge. Like, once you know, but... There we go. Still plenty from the war bank. Lovely, let's learn up all that knowledge. I need to get all this classic stuff away somewhere as well. Oh dear. Right, mining first. We want the one where we can fly. Yep. Nom 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 nom. Beautiful. And then skinning, we keep going up, sharpening the blade. Right, I just need to sell my junk. And we'll nip by the bank and war bank. We'll jump onto our mage
I
for another
have an
round of Siren
extended
Isle
supply
quests.
of goods for our
See if we can get that ensemble for him. The rest we can all slam into the war bank. I suppose I might as well keep the classic stuff. Again, if player housing actually ends up using a load of old materials, as long as I have room in his base bank.
I have an extended supply of goods for
Which we do.
outlanders.
I feel like I'm never going to earn enough gold to upgrade the bloody war bank, though. Like, miles off. Just so far away. I mean, maybe if I sold all the materials in here, I'd maybe get close, but I doubt it. Even then, I doubt it. Is it all the same goddamn illusion? I need a...
My direct
Too much to keep track of. Nope, we need to set our half-stone. Hello, Ronish.
My
Let it be home, please.
to serve you.
Thank you. Excellent. Well, at least now we'll be getting rested XP. Right. Hop on over to the mage. Back to the Siren Isle. It's so nice with the elite sets now. So happy to see it. I just dread a patch where there's like every class has an elite colour I want. And I'm like, well, we know what we're doing this time. Non-stop PvP. Not even any weeklies, just PvP all the time, every day. Be a nightmare.
Beladar shift in your favor.
At least for these we can fly now. How was I doing on the specific ensemble? 36 out of 50. Not too bad. Problem is, once I get that done, I don't really have much.
far and wide. Transaction complete.
I don't have much reason to keep doing it on the dwarf as well, other than then finding a way to more efficiently farm iron. I haven't had a good old Google and look through yet. You know, I've seen a couple of thumbnails that are like, here to farm thousands of iron without ever fighting anything. And I'm like, okay. Kind of feels like it defeats the point of the Isle, but if there is a way for the next patch, we're certainly going to have time to look into it.
What have
For now, though,
you experienced?
continue with what we know. Where's this mechanome? There he is. Burn some birds. Delicious fire. It was worth equipping the ring as well. Just feel a little unnecessary at this point, but why not? I know I'm very unlikely to be playing the mage come undermine, but might as well have the nice ring equipped. And I'm still always going to enjoy fire. Instant giant pyroblast will never not be fun to hit the button. And from what everyone said, in it being the weakest spec in PvP, at least, you know, we got there. We got our 1800 rating. I don't know how likely it would be to then get to the higher levels, but it was certainly doable to get the elite set. Give me more scrap. Get out of here, fish. What are the thoughts of potential other classes? There seemed to be some kind of belief that adding another tank spec would increase the chances of people tanking, but I simply don't think that's true. People will tank more if the stress level is taken off, if they don't feel as attacked, let's say, in later content. And it's hard for me to know these days, not doing group content, like how bad toxicity is. Like, over the years, it got pretty bad. I remember it not being great in Shadowlands. But as to where it's at these days, I could assume it's bad, but I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know for sure. But I don't think adding another tank spec would solve that problem. It'd still be cool to see. I'm not against more specs and stuff being added. You know, there's always the worry of trying to balance it all. Seems like a nightmare. The experiment they did with Augmentation Invoker didn't seem to go over too well. But in a game where people are so focused on a DPS meter in group content, it's hard to believe a support spec that isn't listed as a healer would do well. And then you can't really have a support spec as your one healer for your dungeon, can you? Because then you'd just take a healer, you know? And what would make it a support spec and not just a healing spec at that point? So not easy questions for Blizz to answer, to be fair. And I'm not claiming to know any of the bloody answers either, I'm just speculating over here. Rare upon where? On Quest NPC. Come here. Bye, squid. Oh, they pop the puzzle, but do we share the gems? We seem to share the gems, that's fine. Nom 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 nom. Right, yep, there you are.
Appreciate the mundane.
Hit me quest. Let's grab up a load of these. So much fire and death. We love to see it burn. No, it's just good to hit these buttons on mage. Another aspect of, like, considering new specs or classes down the line is now that they've got hero talents, that's an answer to hit more of those class fantasies. But it's still unclear how often we're going to get those. Like, every expansion, are we going to get one more per spec? That can't work because every class needs, or every spec rather, shares a hero talent with one of the others. So you need at least 2 for each class if you wanted everyone to get a new one each time. Obviously with Druid and Demon Hunter that changes up the numbers a tiny bit, but it about works the same. Especially given how hit and miss a lot of them have been. You know, like Dark Ranger, when that one first came out, was like, this isn't what we wanted. It needed to be flashier, it needed to not add more buttons, that kind of thing. And it's in a really good state now, and obviously I think Blizz are learning these lessons for this new Evergreen system. So you've got to bear that in mind. But it's a lot to make and a lot to balance, right? Like, I know for Mage, Sun Fury just wasn't that fun. It didn't really help in PvP, it felt kind of useless. I don't know how much better in PvE it is. But at least what I was doing, even taking it out of a PvP context and just hitting the buttons, having the Phoenix appear was just kind of underwhelming. It's not like it soared above and bombarded your enemies and screamed bloody murder. I know the answer there. I think it's going to be a very difficult problem for them to solve. And the other thing, if you start broadening it off where, oh, this expansion, these classes get it, you're going to get some pissed off players. It's like, oh, well, clearly this is class favoritism. Again, how dare you give X class and not Y class the hero talent this time? That's going to be a no-win situation no matter how they approach it. Even if they are the coolest hero specs you've ever seen, and everybody wants to play one, and everybody rolls a character for it, you're still going to get people very upset. I mean, hey, if they're committed to making the full one of each time, sure, it'd be a balancing nightmare, but I gotta respect the doing of that. It just doesn't seem realistic. Blow up this big fella. No, thank you. Get your mirror images for a little bit more damage. My dwarf, for whatever reason, is just yelling the whole time, by the way, now. Don't know what's making that proc, but sure, I'll take it. Hey, another Stormflecked. Annoying that that's been the only one that's turned up so far. Right, let's go and find these pages. At the tops. Hello. Don't knock me off, please. Joys of flying. Oh, look at the little cub. Try not to set it on fire. Fair. More like specs and talents. I'd rather it was all cosmetic, so then they could just make more. You know, once it's cosmetic, you don't then need to worry about balance. You don't need to worry about how it affects player power. You don't need to worry about player perception of each class in that regard, when some come out stronger than others. You just get to make cool looking stuff. Problem is that now it's kind of set. I don't know how they turn from that, for lack of a better word. It's a good place to murder some Naga. Where's the densest population of mobs? There's a chunk here. Got to build up that bar now. Oh, they were up by accident. 38. Big fella. He didn't get slowed. Away with you. On there. Go for the rare. It doesn't seem guaranteed that the rares drop the Stormflex I need. But I imagine the chance might well just be higher in general. Get Meteor done. Very angry fish lady. Why is her wrath unexpected? What do you mean? Is that the ring? Is that Azara being upset about this place? Unclear, and I want to know. And there's clearly some foreshadowing, teasing going on to Azara's inevitable return. Which has to be midnight. There's no way you do an expansion where the elves are all coming together to defend the Sunwell and she is somehow not involved. Mind you, the Sunwell was after her time, but even so, it's an expansion that's kind of even the taglines we've seen now are about the elven races coming together, like properly for the first time in their history. You can't do that without one of the progenitors of a good chunk of said races. And stuff like them descending from trolls, so how do the Haranir come into play there, I wonder? Is that even an element where... Because you had in the past, like, Velen talking to Tyrande about the idea of, hey, maybe Elun's a Naru. And Tyrande was like, be quiet. Go away. Do not bring this up again. I will attack you, Velen. But then if the Haranir were like, hey, we're not so... You see, we're kind of cut from the same cloth to a degree. Maybe Tyrande would be equally upset. Hard to know. But it's certainly something to consider. It depends, I guess, both in Undermine, because the Haranir were involved. We had the intro quest of Lingering Shadows, or when you're trying to discover everything going on a little deeper. How involved she then is in Undermine, I don't know. We're going to have to find out when we get into the story content, but it's clear that Haranir were intended for a lot this expansion. And thus far, it's just kind of not. You know, we've had bits with them, but we've not had... I'd say we haven't had anything extensive, and their storyline's been less about them as a people. There's been bits and bobs of that, but it's more been about the relationship with the Black Blood and what that means for everybody. Which again, it's just another one of those old god question marks of what are we doing here? Are they truly all dead? Is this just about Xal'atath being a bonus old god? Will that theory turn out to be true or not? My god, you tanky cursed sailor. Go down. Thank you. And we got minute 30. I think there's still a couple of rares I haven't got yet. there was a lot of thought of maybe somehow Ashara gets on side, but I simply don't think we're going to get to that point. We might get some rebellious Naga, but I don't think we're going to get Ashara team up. Maybe for a patch. You know, maybe for a patch we're on the same wavelength, and then the following patch is like, right, now we're going to kill each other. Like, she joined the Legion to be like, I will rule this world, whether it is ashes or not. So maybe there's something she can side with Xal'atath there with. Maybe she doesn't like the idea of Xal'atath being quite queenly and revered herself, if nothing else from player perception. A lot of people who are more than happy to worship Xal'atath. Will Azshara be quite upset by that? It'd be a funny little dynamic to delve into.
We will not tolerate
Sorry,
the threat to
Azshara,
our
you can't
airship
compete
on
with
this
those feet pictures everyone keeps bloody hankering for, and Blizzard keeps leaning into. Azshara looking down longingly at the pile of tentacles, going, I didn't choose this. You know what I mean? Mind you, that's got its own audience, I suppose. Oh, there's a fun little twirl I did. Speaking of its own audience, blobs. Let's burn them. Poor Kitty. I'm sorry, Kitty. Good news, everyone. I have filled this room with garbage. Alright, there comes the big one. Hold off on the meteor strike for a moment until I get that cooldown back. Let me over. Why did it shoot me backwards? Alright, there we go. So much blob. Alright, I got shields though, we should be fine. Wait, he's just shouting a load more. I wonder if that was just some, like, small past change I have not noticed in the meantime. Or if he was doing that all the time. I feel like during our arena goes on this mage, I would have noticed him screaming so much. Maybe it's part of the ring? Like whenever it procs, maybe? A warbound piece, very nice. Alright, 99%. You be my 1%.
We've seized the upper
Huzzah!
hand. It won't be long before these sea snakes slither back from whence they came.
An actual weapon transmog. Fancied that. That's a decent looking two-hander as well. Very spiky and horde themed, but I'll take it. How many more transmogs are hidden away on this island? Oh, it's Vicruel specifically. I see. At least it'll leave this place up as something to potentially do repeatedly over time. If there's going to be a lot of hidden transmogs in the area.
An exemplary display. The cave is open. Troops, deploy.
Hang on, troops. I want to deal with this rare first. Try and get some more Stormfleck. Hey, good stuff. 45 of 50. We might even finish it today if we're lucky. Where's that dragon? Don't need that big one again, but we'll go towards the dragon. An absolute failure of multitasking. Come here, you wee beastie. Come on, Boomy, you shouldn't have been scared to go take it around the scale. You can solo the thing, it's alright. It's alright, now I'm just slightly Scottish because I'm playing Mid-Dwarf. I'm trying to remember where Scottish Dwarves came from as a concept. Gimli wasn't exactly Scottish, was he? Just a Warcraft thing, and then loads of other video games started doing Scottish dwarves. I know we're moving away from it these days. No. Oh, it's a horde druid. I cannot shield you. Be fine. Live, Boomy. Live. Hey, a bear has appeared. Fine. Where'd that rock come from? Oh, the ceiling. I see.
Reliable as always. The Empire
And
appreciates
another.
support
Oh, it's a
allies.
good day
Our
for it.
forces on high remain vigilant.
Alright, let's go hand these in. Get over to the storm phase. And that'll be the day. I went the wrong way around. But it's alright. Yum. Get it all landed in.
Greetings, outsider. Stay alert. May the shadows pattern.
Every little helps.
May Beladar stay in the light. Walk in the light. If the shadows find you, call.
Yes, I get it. You really like the light. I understand. They're all warbound. Fantastic.
The finest goods underground.
Got so much wax on this character. Good God. I don't even know what to do with it all.
Something new to trade?
More iron. What did you want, Tamma?
In hardship, kindness. Don't despair.
God damn it. I already saw one of them thieves. I'm not going to urgently be looking out for those. That's okay. Let's get into the storm.
I hear
Did
you.
I unlock
We'll get
the
it
mech?
done.
I did. Marvellous. Right, same again. We go over to the crabs, then we go over to the skeletons. I know I say it every time we're here, but it is a big shame that this didn't end up being either more difficult or changed more. I didn't need both. I could have had one or the other. So actually, I like the map itself, and I like the idea of it changing constantly. It's just it didn't really live up to that. And I remember going into the Forbidden Reach, like Dragonflight's kind of version of this, let's say, or the one that came first. And I wasn't doing it at the time. And going back and trying to find these different vaults, because it had an island like this, but then it also had said vaults. And you needed keys from the island to open up different bits of it. And then a different vault would spawn each week. That was also kind of the rule of 3. I liked the idea. But going over and over again, especially when you were trying to find specific ones. Even trying to go back to complete that content's a little annoying. Because it's not like you can pick. I get that. You don't necessarily need to make the old content in a game easy, or even something like Monster Hunter over time made all of its limited event quests, for the vast majority of them, available permanently. But even stuff like the big siege monsters, your Kultaroth and your Safijiva, like they rotate every couple of weeks or every week. There's still that element there. I know, and then you look at something like, in Guild Wars 2, there's always loads of folks running a load of the older content, doing a load of world stuff and collecting things and world bosses and that kind of stuff. It sounded like the world bosses actually required you to understand a good bit. Always one I'd be curious to check out sometime, but actually have the time to bump into a second MMO. And I'd never, even with a load of new MMOs in development, Pardon me. I'd never want the channel to be we play WoW in the morning, we play a second MMO in the evening. I mean, but with stuffing out, or stuff coming out, there's certainly things I'd like to check down the line. Obviously, people are very happy with Ashes of Creation for the most part. Problem for me, when they're a lot more PvP centric, tends to be very difficult to enjoy as a solo player. If they last, even. Crowfall was the last one I tried to get into for that. Remember backing that on Kickstarter, being like, yeah, if I could just go around and sell and do things and make my own, but simply don't have the player count. And there were a lot of issues, a lot of server problems as well, especially when you're trying to do those big PvP things. You know, hundreds of players, server-wide battles. You need it to go off almost without a hitch for people to say, hey, this is really awesome and it's really fun, but it was a lag fest. Even on those with a really good setup, it was a lag fest, so... Oh, no, I've overdone it. There you go. Come here, Cursed Sailor. Might as well get you while I'm in this thing. What in the hell? Robot. No, the other one's going to be it. How easy is it to get this thing up here? We're not too bad. Oh, I even got it inside. Landlubbers or it's ruining everything. Where was the other one? The other one was... I don't know, it's not coming up on the map. Nope. Oh, we are 3 more debris. So very nearly there. Grab the quest. No. Regard, I'm here again. Gimme.
Flame guide your way, friend.
Oh, come here. Still got a lot more threats to eliminate, but it should be fine. We'll just clear out this beach repeatedly. Oh no, the only other one that really springs to mind other than Ashes of Creation is probably Riot's MMO. Just because I want to explore that world more. Built it up so much in Legends of Runeterra, and then obviously Arcane's doing what Arcane's doing. We know they've got a lot more shows set in other regions of the world in the pipeline. It's only going to grow in popularity, unless, like, the next season just tanks. Like, something goes horribly wrong. Exploring Noxus, and they're like, actually, Jinx and Vi kind of carried all this. I'm obviously hoping that's not the case. You want stuff to do well. You want excellent stories to come out. Not just commercialised to bloody hell and back. Get in range. We know they've gone back to the drawing board on that MMO a few times now. Imagine it's not an easy thing to bring to market, even in like the age where WoW was at its peak and everyone was trying to make an MMO. Kind of like how the live service rush is happening these days. It was just a graveyard of products and millions being lost for various companies. And again, you're seeing the same thing kind of happen at the moment, but it's now kind of untreaded waters these days. I don't know how you make an MMO that does loads of new stuff. Like, Ashes of Creation is just doing stuff people like. There's nothing I've heard about it that's like revolutionizing the genre. You know what I mean? Nothing about it screams like we are changing the world with this one. The jumps in technology, though, you'd figure someone could do something crazy with an MMO. I know what that means, though. Like, do you... The idea of something like EVE Online, where it's a gigantic, constant and persistent world with everyone in it all at the same time. And again, assuming EVE even works like that these days, I think that's how it works. It's been a long time since I checked in. Terrifying game. But the idea of doing that means you have to create such a massive world to facilitate that kind of thing. Like, as cool as you think the idea is, for those who've played WoW and you know, like on a launch day of an expansion, you know when a load of people are crowding over the same quest NPC, it's a nightmare. When you're here and there's maybe, instead of just me on this mech and maybe the odd 2 or 3, if there's 40 of them going around and mobs going down immediately all the time. Like, there's a lot of, not to mention just server stability and getting things up and running in that way anyway. It's very difficult to do in a way that works. Like, I'm not trying to think of riots as being something crazy different. I just want to be a paladin of Aurelian Soul, you know, that's what I want from that game. Let me serve the Great Star Dragon. Or Nagakemoros, you know? Whether they have traditional classes or not. Again, it's coming up with these ideas isn't difficult per se. I'm sure somebody over there has thought, right, we want a paladin-esque class signing an oath to a god of some form or description. Can I do so to Aurelian? You know, I'm just hoping that's not something only I've thought of. Like I say, everyone has ideas. What can be implemented more than anything else. What they're even going for. Hey, there we go. One more free. Just one. Give me it, skeleton. Come on. Be the hero we need. No! Curse you, skeleton. More of your friends, then. Get another pile. Just one more storm stone. Give it to me. No. See, now comes the problem. Now it's never going to drop. Now I can be farming this beach for hours and it's not going to drop. RNG is a cursed goddess. You're running away for? Swine, you come back here. You come back here and die. Ah, thank goodness. Who's Hella looking for? Hella looking for Cerise as well? I thought we saw briefly in Shadowlands, I think. Probably in one of the Covenant things I didn't do. I don't know. So much of that time is a blur. I remember bits. Alright, now we just need... There you go, Tide Champion. Bless you for just spawning. Now we explode. Boom. Done. We out. We leave. Oh, pardon me. Big stretch. As I'd say to my cat. We're invisible to get out of combat.
Greetings, outsider.
Let's get out of the storm phase. And we can go grab that singing bandit. For another easy 100. Get our ensemble. Finally see if it's worth it. It'll just be like a ruddy colour of one we've already got, but more options. That's all I want. Excuse me, Naga. No. Don't you do it, crab. Don't you daze me. I choose freedom. Susie, get me out of here. Beautiful. Margus, I did it.
How can my
Give me that
errors
delicious
serve?
transmog. What do you mean I may have another task for you? Argus crushes a chunk of debris in his hand and spreads it on his anvil to examine. Fascinating. The detritus contains slivers of crystalline material. I wonder if it is eroded fragments of the Siren crystal. I may have another task for you. First, help yourself to the armaments I've forged. I will. Give me that transmog.
May your work serve others.
Propaganda. Where? You have not made it clear. Stonebound. Is that in this list here anywhere? No? God damn it. I have to look through piece by bloody piece. Aye. Oh, so it's greeny version. Brown and green. Or copper and green. Look, take it. And it's just like the starting one. Lovely. What else you got then, Vargas?
To help the awakened.
Another set. That requires 50. Oh, good God. Alright. Vargas holds up a tiny splinter of golden crystal. Much like the radiant remnants found by the Arathi within Hallowfall, the Siren crystal appears to be affecting the surrounding geological matrix of the island. Unlike our goblin compatriots, I don't recommend harvesting the larger shards we've seen around the isle, lest we disturb the fragile caverns beneath us. What do you mean, caverns beneath us? Or offend the Arathi. But these tiny splinters are worth investigating. Bring me a sizable portion, for experimental purposes. 50 crystal splintered rubble. Can only be looted from creatures on the Siren Isle during the Sea Fury Tempest.
Forge your own path.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Googling it. Oh, is that just the storm? Also, it sounds like you can just
We will not tolerate a
debuff,
threat to our
like
airship
turn
on
off
this
the
island,
storm
no
buff.
matter where it-
Yeah, Sea Fury Tempest. Okay. Oh my God, you can just click the buff off and you're out. Holy shit. Why don't they tell you that? Why didn't I try that? But yeah, so that's then going in and getting crystals really specifically during the storm. So we're not done on our dwarf here to get more earthen stuff just yet. Alright, alright. Let's get our things sold up.
Be good.
Get my other bits into the water bank. Let's get into that point, Enchanter. Get into that point. The thing is, I kind of want a character to be able to wear these so I can get the tier set transmog from the catalyst. Obviously that doesn't count with the weapons or trinkets though. Right, that is in fact everything though. Now we transfer iron over from Baroque. I believe I got everything I wanted off the steel vein fillet. Yeah, it was just tabards. Don't give a toss about tabards. And you were the gear that we're actually finding as we go, so that's less of a bother. There is the stuff from the goblin over there, but that's kind of good summer vibes.
Greetings, sir and ma'am.
That's an armor set? Oh, right. Okay, and I haven't got any of it. I haven't been buying up bits of it by accident. What the other ensembles are after? The Tuscari one. The Valkyrie one. Or Valkyria. Miscellaneous level one, which that's also Valkyria to a degree. That's that big... Oh, they are actually cloth, leather, and plate. Okay. The mail. Lest we forget. And the others are all the weapons. Damn, it's 3k a time. Definitely going to have to do some looking around for faster farming methods for it. I think I definitely want this one though. I like these silly dragon shoulder pads. Don't necessarily need the big belt. We'll hold off on getting more for now.
Leave. I was done talking to you anyway.
Fine, Tal. Fine. With that then, folks, what I'll say... Oh, hang on. Who's that over there? Who wants my attention? What do you want? Oh, it's just the bloody book quest. Going back to my turtle friend. How dare I let myself be distracted. I will say... Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed yourselves, don't forget to hit that like button. Help push the video through the algorithm so more folks can come and hang out with us in these mornings or watch some other games with us on the evening. Subscribe for more content here on the channel. We're on the weekdays, 9 AM GMT World of Warcraft and 6 PM on the evenings with other games, currently Eternal Strands. And you can find playlists to all the games we've already covered right here on the channel. Just flick past that video tab there on YouTube to either the live tab to scroll through the latest stuff or the playlist tab where it's all neatly organised game by game for you to binge to your heart's content. Until next time folks, much love, take care, and bye bye.